Hi, it's Hugh Foster on the bass here. Time for another quick click. Before we get started, just a little note that if you want to download the backing track, the transcription in tab and standard notation, please consider signing up and becoming a supporter on Patreon. Link below or right here. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so before we break down the concepts in this one, let's just hear it slowed down. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a few things going on there. First of all, I just want to talk about what key this is in. I'm thinking of this as being in G Dorian mode. And a little introduction to G Dorian mode and modes in general, if you haven't come across it much before, or you have and you're just like, how does that go again? Here's a little explainer. I'll give you two, actually, potentially three ways to think about it, and whatever works best for you. First of all, here's F major, right? Okay. The key of F major, it's got one flat in it, B flat, okay, and the rest are all natural notes, white notes on the keyboard. If you take all of those notes but start from the second point on the scale, G, you have G Dorian. Okay, so it's all the notes from F major, but just the starting point is now a tone higher. The second way of thinking about it is you can think of, well, take G minor. Okay, that has an E flat as the 6th degree of it. Okay, that one there. Make that one semitone higher. Okay, and then you've got G Dorian there. That's generally how I like to think of it. Alternatively, and this might help with soloing, you could just think of D minor. Okay, having all the same notes, because D is the relative minor of F, and then, yeah, D minor starting on G. Whatever works for you, and there's going to be different solutions for different people, and, you know, everyone thinks about these things slightly differently, I find. Okay, so the 16th note pushes in this one are almost always in the same kind of place in the bar or in relation to the downbeats. And the downbeats are all the strong beats, the 1, 2, 3, 4. So the very first push at the very beginning lands on the last 16th note just before beat 1. 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. Excuse the singing, but hopefully that does illustrate a point. The thing is, yeah, every push comes just before a downbeat, and in this case, it is mostly before beat 1 or beat 3. There's also ghost notes in this. And 2 points I want to make about the ghost notes is that, first of all, they kind of serve a practical purpose in this. Those little groupings of 3 ghost notes, for example, at the very beginning, 1, 2, 3. Okay, they serve a practical purpose because the first of those is on a downbeat, beat 4. And then you're giving yourself a little run up into the push, and it does actually make it a bit easier. If you were to play this without any ghost notes, it would still be possible, but it actually does increase the difficulty a little bit. Ghost notes do help you sit in the groove, really, because, you know, they're giving you a sense of placement within the groove, within the pulse, within the beat. Okay. Okay, and one other thing about what I'm doing with the ghost notes themselves is actually when there are those groupings of 3, I am tending to actually, instead of playing them all with the fingers like that, you know, all just alternating motion in the fingers, the first one is more of like slamming my hand down onto the strings, not too heavily, but. This might be the kind of thing that you've seen bass players do when they're playing unaccompanied, mimicking the backbeat of a snare drum on beats 2 and 4, you know. In that little example I just plucked out of the air, it was just, you know, you could hear where the groove would be because I was just outlining what a backbeat does, and everyone knows what a backbeat is, you know? It's just that boom, cat, boom, cat. You don't even need the sort of boom, that part, because you're kind of fulfilling that purpose. And the 2 and the 4 are the strong beats. Hopefully that shows, all the things you can do with the right hand as well as the left and marry the 2 together. Bass is so much more closely linked to drums than it is to guitar. It's 6-stringed cousin. I'm not going to say sibling, because, we're part of that rhythm section, and having a strong sense of time and using a couple of these tips here will hopefully, help you improve that sense of time if it's something you think you need to work on. Anyway, that about covers it from me today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Don't forget you can get the backing track and the transcription from my Patreon. I've been Hugh Foster on the bass. I'll see you next time.